welcome back to another video. And in today's video we are going to learn a new concept called nested for loop. So now you have understood that this is also a loop, but I wanted to make a specific video on this thing. Well, this is a bit different type of loop. Also, there will be no revision video on this also, because there is not much to tell. So there are only a few uses of a nested for loop. Well, nested for loop is a loop inside a loop. Like it is nested for means we have to put a for loop inside a for loop. For like so. So now this is a for loop inside for loop. You can see here. So now what it is, why it is used? So the basic use it is of it is to draw figures, like some patterns. For example, we can draw a square. Let me explain it to you through Excel. Suppose let's just find a symbol, like a symbol with which we can draw. So let us just use this multiplication symbol because this looks very cool. So for now I will call it star symbol. So I will meet you after drawing my figure. I have now drawn my figure. It is looking like this. So now you will be thinking that this figure is very much like fat type, but when we will create it in a program, it will look very thin. So now let us just start. So there are properties of any shape. So let us just find the width and height of this shape. So 0. In programming, counting starts from 0. But there is also one thing that I think I forgot to tell you. As I told you about the starting range, int I is equals to 0. Instead of 0, you can keep here any number. It is not compulsory to keep only 0 here. You can keep any starting range here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if we start counting from 0, then in total there will be 7 columns. And if you start counting from 1, that means that there will be 8 columns in total. Now let's count the rows. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So there are total 4 rows if started counting from 0. But if we start counting from 1, then there will be 5 rows in total. Let's just put it like this. Yes. So now we have got the properties of a shape. So this is 7 by 7, 4 by 7. So now we can create a shape according to these properties. So as I told you, you can keep your starting range, any starting range you can keep, and the ending range I will keep according to the. So let us just suppose for now that this for loop is for the rows and this for loop is for the columns. So how many rows are there? If counted from 0, rows are 4. So now let us just create here new variable j. J will start from 0, j will end at 7. If you are starting counting from 1, then the ending range should be 1 greater. Like if I start counting from 1, then this should be 5. If I start counting from 1 here, then it should be 8. So there is a rule in nested for loop that first of all it checks the inner for loop, means this for loop. Then it will check the outer for loop. So let us just system.out.println. Oh, do not write here println, write here print. Otherwise, it will print each column in a different row. So print here as star it is just Java C nested for one dot Java. Yes, Java nested for one. So as you can see, it is printing all the columns in one line only. So now we have to tell it to switch to a new row, then again print the columns. So right here system.out.println here, and right here nothing. And if you don't want to use here println, then right here system.out.print, there is one more way, /n. And also do not use the normal slash, like this is the normal slash, and use the slash that is facing the other direction. But I will use the println method only. You can use that print method also. So now if we just check, so now it is perfectly printing a figure. So now before ending the video, let me just tell you how does this work. Actually, when it checks this loop, then it will print all the stars for the first row. Then it will check for the outer for loop. In outer for loop, it is written to go to a new line, next line. So it will go to the next line. Then it will again check this for loop and it will print columns. And since we are in a new line, it will print columns in the new row. Then it will again switch to the next line and then it will again print the columns of the new line. So guys, I hope you understood this explanation, and if you enjoyed this video, and this video is a bit short, so if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.